Okay, guys, this isn't something I was really planning, but I didn't really have anything else to really talk about that I have done a lot of research on. But this is just a little hot take for the new photos surrounding the Terminator, the new Terminator movie that's supposed to be like a direct continuation of the story that continued on from T2, that isn't Rise of the Machines, and that's honestly something I've been really excited for because after the general negative like audience reception of Terminator Genesis, um, and considering that almost every Terminator sequel since arguably Rise of the Machines has been so lackluster, I think a lot of people, wanting James Cameron really to come back to the Terminator franchise, and so he shall as a producer, and I think he's coming back as a writer. All right, so just to fill you all in the background information, I've been really wanting James Cameron to come back and take the helm of the Terminator franchise because he's a good writer. I mean, he's not gonna be able to do the directing stuff because he's still directing all the Avatar movies and stuff like that, and they're all still going through production and shit like that. So he's not gonna have time to direct this new Terminator movie. But like I said, I have high hopes because I think James Cameron can do it. I think he can bring the Terminator franchise back from the hell it's been sitting in for well over a decade, maybe even 2 decades. I'm not even sure. I don't even remember what year Terminator 3 came out. It was well before I was able to really conceive of what Terminator was in the first place. I didn't get to watch the Terminator until I was like 11. But the Terminator was like, it's a big movie franchise. The first two movies fucking great, though the first one I have to prefer because despite the lower budget, it's more well put together in my opinion than Terminator 2. But that's a different thing. But now it appears that a lot of people aren't too happy with Terminator 2. Well, not Terminator 2, but Terminator 3. And here's the reason why. There is a promotional photo out that had Sarah Connor in it. Now, looking at Sarah Connor on her own, I don't think many people will be really upset about it. All right. I mean, unless they're thinking like, Terminator's like, oh, it's appealing to the feminist type of thing that a lot of people are perpetuating, and a lot of movies are doing that. But Terminator's always been that movie franchise with the consistent female character. Considering James Cameron, helped write Ellen Ripley. He wrote Ellen Ripley in Aliens, and he created Sarah Connor, who was meant to be that strong role for John Connor to learn from at the end of the original Terminator. So if you're one of those people who are saying, "Oh no, they only put a woman in there because she's a blah, 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 blah. It's just a women thing," it's like you have no idea what the hell Terminator franchise is. But that's not really the reason I think people are really complaining about this promotional photo. The reason that people are complaining about this promotional photo, in my opinion, is because there are two chicks right beside Sarah Connor. Just two of them, just two random chicks, okay? You think we'd be getting like a photo of the Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator, the old T-800, the good and evil T-800, or the new John Connor who's supposed to be a little kid again? You think we'd be getting that instead, but for some reason, we have these two random chicks who we've never even seen before, giving more poster time than the man who made the Terminator Arnold Schwarzenegger, the new kid who's going to be playing John Connor, and the bad guy Terminator. I think that's a little bit of a problem. I mean, yeah, I don't think you would want to put the bad Terminator on the movies, on the promotional poster. I mean, it would kind of give away what you're expecting in the movie. But you're not going to have John Connor on there with Sarah Connor. That's a bit of a problem for me. And then to add insult to injury, you have these two random chicks out of nowhere. And I think that's the main problem here. I don't think it's really as much of the whammons thing because, if you don't know, James Cameron is a pretty big feminist, quote unquote, I would say, even though he's had like 6 different marriages. One to Linda Hamilton, by the way, that lasted a year. I bet you guys didn't know that. And he's pretty big on the women's thing. He made a movie basically dedicated to that. I can't remember what it's called. I'll have to look it up later. But and he's been saying a whole bunch of stuff in regards to the Whammons thing. Like he said that he bashed Infinity War for being too masculine, which is completely ridiculous. Because, considering most of the Marvel superheroes are dudes that aren't owned by Fox or anything like that, you think he'd be kind of resilient when it came to copyright or like ownership stuff, but not really. But you have that thing, and you kind of and like but he has been one of those guys who I think has been better off on the social issues. Because, he criticized Wonder Woman for just being there. And, like I said, it's a whole different issue. But I think, I think he's got some opinions that differ from the majority. And I think that, that makes his opinion, to me, at least a little bit more worthwhile to judge. And so, there's that. For James Cameron to write in a random group of female characters that we've never seen before or even heard about, I don't necessarily blame him for that, because if you knew James Cameron, this shouldn't shock you. If you've seen what has been going on surrounding James Cameron over the years, it shouldn't shock you at all, considering, like I said, he wrote two of the most strongest and badass female protagonists ever. Difference is they weren't OP. Now, like I said, I think the main reason that I am pissed off. Now, I am not necessarily pissed off, but I am a little disappointed in this, promotional teaser photo. Is the fact that these two chicks are characters we've never seen before. Like, we don't know who these people are. We don't know the context, unless they're trying to retcon in the things that were set up in T3, in which that would explain the hotter looking chick on the poster, and not the chick who looks like a dude. Because the chick looks like a dude, the one in the white shirt or white top looks like a dude. And I don't know what they were really trying to go with that. Were they trying to make Nick Stahl into a tomboy? I don't know. That was really weird. So you had that, and so, like I said, it's like, considering this is supposed to jump back in from Terminator, right after Terminator 2, why the fuck are we focusing more in promotional photos, right? And when there's a promotional photo like that, it generally means they're going to be really important to the story. We're all questioning, who the fuck are these people? I think that's what a lot of people want to know. Who the fuck are these people? I'm pretty sure today they haven't really said much as far as naming the characters or anything like that, or giving us clues as to who these people are. I think they were just photos, and this could have been like a thing on set, and they just got a couple random chicks to stand by Linda Hamilton and do a photo op. I don't know. I'm not sure with the context of it. I didn't really do a lot of research looking it up, other than, judging people's YouTube thumbnails on the issue. I'm going to look it up later and maybe do a whole thing on it. But to me, I am not really super pissed off about it, as a bunch of other people are. I'm concerned that James Cameron's going to take this in a super SJW direction when it comes to the Whammons. But at the same time, it's not as dumb as everybody thinks it is. It's just, my big problem is much more of a... Well, my problem is just much more not really based on, the social aspect of this entire thing. It's just more based on, who the fuck are these people? If they're supposed to be fighting alongside Sarah Connor, I'd like to know who they are, right? Because the main posse in the Terminator movies, they have always been about 2 to 3 to 4 people. Alright, because in the Terminator 1, it was just Reese and Connor for the most part. Terminator 2, it got up to 4 when you had John, the good Terminator, Sarah Connor, and the computer guy who created Skynet, Miles Dyson. So, who are these people? Alright, and Miles Dyson was probably more of a surprise because, he was the guy who created Skynet. But even if they showed promotional photos of him, they would probably have said something about it, because Miles Dyson is one of those, recognizable extras. Alright, if they had cast someone like, I don't know, Yvonne Strahovski, the lady who plays Sarah and Chuck, I would have been much more pleased, because she's someone I know about from an acting standpoint, so I wouldn't have been as pissed off. I'd be like, holy shit, Yvonne Strahovski. That would have been a pretty awesome casting choice. Or maybe they got the lady who played her in the Terminator, the Sarah Connor Chronicles, to reprise her role instead of getting Linda Hamilton back. Or they take her and put her in one of those roles. Like, holy crap, that's pretty cool. Alright, but my main problem with this is, it's just, I think people are overreacting. I really do. But I do understand their concerns. I'm not going to go out and say their opinion is wrong. I think a lot of people are overreacting to this situation. But to me, this whole thing bothers me because we don't know who these characters are. We have been given no background information, and they're either the new Terminators or the people that are most likely going to be fighting alongside John and Sarah Connor. And if they're just going to be put in there for the women's part, then that doesn't really help. If that's what the entire purpose of these two characters are, is just to be women, then that's pretty dumb. But like I said, it's all speculation about who these characters are right now, because like I said, I don't know anything, at least. Some other people might know something. I don't know. James Cameron knows, but he's not showing us yet. And until he comes up with a pretty good explanation as to why these people were on the cover and not the little kid John Connor and the new Terminator and Arnold Schwarzenegger, I don't think a lot of people are going to be too satisfied in the slightest. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Hopefully the new Terminator will be a lot better than, what they've had to offer for the last few years. I really do. Depending on what happens, it might suck though. So we'll have to see what happens. I'll see you guys later. Don't die.